On June the 23rd, 2016, millions of people came out and took part in the greatest vote that this country has ever seen. And despite all the odds, with the whole of the establishment, the political establishment, the business establishment, the media establishment rained against us, the Vote Leave campaign won. We won the referendum. We won it by a good margin. 17.4 million people voted to leave the European Union. And of course the others voted to remain. Theresa May has betrayed that vote. She hasn't just betrayed the Leave voters, she's betrayed the Remain voters as well. Because we were told there was a very clear binary choice. We either leave the European Union, all its laws, the customs union, the single market, that's what we were told. We leave in totality, and that's why we're told there'd be a huge financial crisis and there would be a crash the minute that we decided to leave. Of course, that never happened. But that was the choice we were given. And in doing what she's done, Theresa May has not just betrayed the people who voted Leave, but everybody that took part in that process, because we all believe that our vote counted. And it's been very, very obvious now that our votes didn't count. That the establishment were going to find a way of stitching us up and stealing democracy and destroying democracy in the United Kingdom. On the 23rd of June this year, many thousands of us, patriots, UKIP supporters, supporters of For Britain, unaligned patriots from all different backgrounds and parties, marched to Parliament. Of course, there was very little media coverage. The BBC helicopter filmed us by accident thinking we were a Remain march, saw how big the crowd was, and then immediately panned away, and the helicopter flew off like a frightened little bird. But the message that we had that day was very, very clear. And we had war heroes speaking on that platform. This is the absolute disgusting thing when we get slandered by the extreme far left, which is probably really anything slightly to the left of Boris Johnson at the minute. I call the Conservative Party now the Conservative Communist Party, but that's another story. We were slandered by the far left. Robin Horsfall, an SAS hero who stormed the Iranian embassy fighting against terrorism, spoke on that platform. Gerard Batten spoke on that platform. Anne-Marie Waters spoke on that platform. Many other patriots stood up and called for Brexit to be delivered. And the message of that march was very simple. No deal is the best deal. That was our message. It was leave the European Union, go straight to World Trade Organization trading rules, and then if the EU want to negotiate a deal with us, fine, let them do that. That was back then, when we thought there was a sliver of a chance of having a good deal from Theresa May. Of course, we knew that she was going to do what she was going to do, and we predicted it at the time. But now we should really change that message. Back then we said no deal is the best deal. Now our message should be very, very simple to the Prime Minister. No deal is the only deal that's acceptable to the 17.4 million people that voted to leave the European Union. Now that brings me to the next point. What do we do? The little people, the forgotten people, the marginalised people. Well, thankfully we've got a voice thanks to social media. Even though it's been closed down more and more, we've got a voice and we can speak up. So that's the first thing we do. We make ourselves heard on social media. But of course, that can become very much an echo chamber. We need to reach out further than that. The first thing that we need to do, we need to start writing to our local MPs and holding them to account. If you voted Leave, you really need to write to your local MP and tell them. In fact, if you voted Remain, you probably need to do this as well. But however you voted in the referendum, you need to write to your local MP immediately and tell them to vote against this deal, and tell them if they don't vote against this deal that you will never vote for them again. The second thing we need to do, and it's really the opposite of what the government want you to do, The government wants the people that voted in the referendum to give up on the democratic process. That's the opposite of what we should do. Everybody that voted to leave the European Union should make sure they're registered to vote. They should get all their friends who think the same to register to vote. And I just appeal to all the veterans, all the football lads, everybody in our movement. If you are not registered to vote, don't give up on the democratic process. Register to vote. It's the only show we've got in town. Register to vote. That's the first thing. The second thing is join the United Kingdom Independence Party. Join UKIP. Now, I'm not a UKIP fanatic, but I know that UKIP is the mechanism by which we can save this country. We need a democratic voice. We need a political party. UKIP is ready-made for our movement. And if we want to deliver Brexit, the only chance we have got is by getting thousands and thousands, maybe millions of people to start joining UKIP and voting UKIP. So write to your MP, register to vote, join UKIP and start voting UKIP. Or start voting for genuine, there are some genuine Leave politicians on both sides of the house. I think people like Kate Hoey, Jacob Rees-Mogg. There are some genuine Leavers in the House of Parliament. Make sure that they keep their seats, and make sure that if you're in a Leave area, you get your Remainiac MP booted out of Parliament if there's a general election. But there's a matter of urgency with this issue we've got now. There's a vote coming up in Parliament in December, and I believe there will be a stitch-up. I believe Labour and Conservative may well come together on this. The Remainiacs in both those parties may well come together on this and support May's bill, because they know that Theresa May's bill is so bad that it will stop Brexit. Because people say, this is so bad, let's just remain anyway. And she knows that as well. That's how cynical the woman is. If she's not, she's stupid. So register to vote. Join a patriotic political party. Make sure you vote for a Leave candidate when there's an election. Make sure you write to your MP telling them not to back this deal. And finally, last night, Tommy was doing a live feed and he called for a demonstration on the 1st of December. If you can get there now, there's been a lot of demonstrations this year, a lot of demonstrations, and a lot of people are financially stretched. I totally get that. If you can get to London on the 1st of December, please get to that demonstration. It's actually amazing that Stand Up to Racism are counter-demoing that march. They've said that already. So all of a sudden, they're putting themselves in a position where they're all backing the Remain campaign, or they're backing Theresa May's deal. So Stand Up to Racism, which is basically run by Diane Abbott of the Labour Party, are obviously backing Theresa May's deal, because this protest has nothing to do with race or religion. It's purely and simply about whether we leave the European Union or not, and how we leave, and the fact that Theresa May sold us out. So you've got Stand Up to Racism backing the Conservative Party in this, along with Sinn Féin IRA, which is another interesting point. If you're in Northern Ireland and you think this deal's a good deal, well, just bear in mind that Sinn Féin and the IRA think it's a good deal as well. So what does that say about the deal? So 1st of December, if you can get to London, get to London. If you can't get to London, maybe there's something in your town that you can do on a different date. But we need to make our voices heard. We need to stand up. We need to do something about this. And we still have a voice. We're going to lose that voice. If this deal is horrendous, if this deal goes through, you might as well say goodbye to the United Kingdom, because Northern Ireland's going to get hived off. Scotland are not happy about it. This is such a bad deal. So 1st of December, I'm sure Tommy and the UKIP guys will be giving details of how this march is going to happen, how it's going to take place. But most importantly, start lobbying your MPs and telling them they will lose your vote if they back this deal. That is vitally, vitally important. That's probably more important than anything. Contacting your MP, write actual physical letters to them, print them off, write them out by hand, email them as well. However you can get in touch with your local MP, get in touch with them and tell them that this deal is completely unacceptable to you and the people, all the people that voted in that referendum. Thank you.